Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you so much for being here. And Sarah's here with us all week.
Hello, dearies.
Making everything better. So, and you're here. Thank you for being here. We have epic troll slayers to keep us safe and have kept us safe for years. Thank you. And we've got a fantastic community, which is really the core of all of this. This is news with friends. We go through the news together and we vent to each other, but we also point out resources to each other and we support each other as much as we can. So the community is really important. So thank you for adding so much good to it. And if you're watching on replay, hello. And of course, you're part of this community too. So thank you for all of your kindness. Miss Sarah will be timestamping the questions. The questions are all in the description box. And we're going to be talking a little bit between the political questions because we're not going to sink into icky energy and stay there. But we'll dip in and out with usually some silliness ensues at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, so where shall we start, my friend?
I had a couple of housekeeping things to go over. Mm-hmm. In the chat, in the right above the questions, is the New York Times link of all the executive orders. I'm gonna. It was in one of the questions yesterday. I put it by itself today. I will probably for the next couple days make sure that that's in the description box, just because it's easier when they're all in one place. So, also because leading into part 2 of this, right now emotions are high and there's a lot of potential for disinformation, inadvertent disinformation. Right. We hear what we hear and we don't know. And so it's like, okay, well, this is what I heard, but it's not always. So, I'm trying to be extra vigilant. I try always, but I'm trying to be extra vigilant to make sure that when questions are asked, I can find a trail, a kernel of where it started. For those who are moderators, please feel free. Actually, it's not feel free. Please add the link of your source after your question if you ask one. If you are not a moderator, just link the source name. ABC News is reporting blank, what is blah, 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 blah. So something along those lines. So that way we can make sure that, there's enough stuff as it is. We don't want to add on to it by stuff that's not necessarily confirmed as of yet. So we want to make sure that it's, as legit as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
Also,
so
Rita, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Also, I wanted us to take a minute to pray for Violetta. Apparently she's live right now. She lost her son, and there's no greater pain.
Oh,
there's nothing worse. So if we could take a minute, and we've done it before, but once again, let's pray for Violetta and her family and her son who was crossed. Nice. Bless her. Okay.
All right. Cookie, did I get snow? No, that's south of me. We got like a quarter of an inch the night before last, but nothing stuck. Bourbon Street is under snow.
Bourbon Street is like this much snow. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And the videos I've seen, heart heavy, but the videos I've seen of Bourbon Street, the snow's just sitting there. I mean, they don't have plows.
Right.
They don't, like, what do you do with it? So
Yeah.
I assume they'll borrow or get something makeshift, something to take care
Somebody's
of.
going to get out there with the Tonys and start sprinkling.
That too. But they are having snowball fights in Jackson Square, which is really great.
Yeah. There hasn't been snow in Jackson Square since 1890.
Although I really think they should rename it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me.
I'm down with that, with the renaming of things. So yeah.
Hold on, says hair dryers on high. They'll have to do something.
Yeah.
Because it's just sitting. It's like this thick on top of the cars. It's just sitting. They don't even have like snow brushes like to clear off their cars.
Nope. Claude says, hello everyone. I have a suggestion for you all from now on. We will not say the name of you know who, but use the worst nickname ever for him. Yes. I'm trying to personally refrain from saying his name for the foreseeable future. And in fact, please grant me liberty when y'all ask questions with his name. I am changing it because I don't want to speak it. Now, next week, that's up to boss lady over here. But
boss lady.
I'm not saying his name.
Oh no, I'm trying not to. I'm generally, he's the felon or Herr Drumpf.
Yes.
With Frau Drumpf. Oh, by the way, I read an article this morning, and the hat, the Hamburglar hat that Frau Drumpf was wearing, it was a brim that was like that was stiff. When he went in to try to kiss her, he couldn't get near her face.
Well then, multi-purpose. All right. Oh, also under the last thing of housekeeping, real quick before we get started. Sorry. Once upon a time, it was needed to put things in all caps, especially during chat, for Sebastian to be able to see that you were speaking to her. Now, during chat, that's one thing. But when asking your questions in the beginning, if possible, please, you can stop.
Yeah, I wouldn't in general. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so there's no need, because when it's in all caps, we have to retype it, and sometimes we're running low on time, and so no caps needed. But all right. Oh, goodness. Coming in at 8:30. Goral has a question. The citrus convicts inauguration ratings were 21% lower than Biden's. I've seen 21 and 27. So either way, they were lower. How's he feeling about that right now?
And no Sean Spicer to go lie about the size of the crowd. He is such a pathetic, tiny little worm. I don't know. Has anybody heard him actually complaining about it? Because what I've got here is they were doing a lot to... The people around him really have to manage him.
Oh, yeah.
And manage his expectations and manage and nip things in the bud. And no, but sir, with tears in their eyes. There's the thief, there's the moon, because otherwise because he's a constant victim. He lives on the drama triangle.
Mhm.
lives on the drama triangle. And it's an inverted triangle for a reason, because the bottom is where you get the victim, which is the
Mhm.
default place. They stole from me, they're lying about me, just howling at the moon garbage. So I'm not getting a lot about it. I'm just getting
Okay.
I don't know if he's complained about it, but moving inside helped a lot.
Mm. Yeah.
And he has other things to think about now.
All right. We'll still take just pleasure in it. Yeah. At 10.
We're enjoying it. 100%.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. At 10:50. Lisa K has a question. A group of January 6 convicts, now pardoned and released, will be meeting with the White House Freedom Caucus. What's the purpose of the meeting? What's up? What they planning?
I read, now I don't know if this is true, but I read in the Apple News app, which is where I get my news first thing in the morning, that Dumpy said something about the dumpster. Said something about there's a place in government for the Proud Boys. Yes, Boris and Natasha. Well, Frau Trump, she did look like Natasha.
Right? Yes, she did. Oh.
Amy says most likely his own private army. Sorry? Did you find it?
Yes. ABC. Trump defends pardons for rioters and suggests Proud Boys could have place in politics.
If not the government, then in politics. Just gathering all the awful people together. There's the country. What they have in common is misogyny, racism, the usual. Page ones. Now they're waiting for their ship to come in. They're going to be sitting pretty, and I do not like this hemmed in, because I think they're the ones doing the hemming in. Yeah. And Rumpf is getting his brown shirts. That's, yeah.
Well,
and someone may say, "Oh, you're being too extreme. It's hyperbolic." Is that the right word?
I think so.
Because my brain went, it's not. My brain said it's not hyperbaric. I know it's not hyperbaric, but what is it? It's hyperbolic. But I know some people might be like, oh, making the references to 1930s Germany, it's overblown. No. Literally, fascism is about control of the state, and control by the state and corporations. The term was coined by Mussolini, and it is you have to have the big corporations or it's not fully fascism. And then you add in the racism and the misogyny, etc., etc. And so these, yeah.
Somebody on TikTok last night said that Voldemort is back and the ministry has fallen. And that kind of hit me. I was like, yeah. So, all right. Well, along these same lines as the last question, Joanna had a question. Stuart Rhodes was pardoned.
What is it? What did Jen Lynn call him? One-eyed. She's got a list. Stuart Rhodes, he's the one who took out his own eye.
Yeah.
Showing how to use a pew-pew.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a special stupid.
He was showing how to do it. He was teaching how to do
it. Is his family safe? And let's just look at just in general the families of the people who have gotten out. Because, go ahead.
One-eyed Stewie. One-eyed Stewie. That's what she calls him. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Rhodes, threatened and abused his family in the past and is as vindictive as we know. And of course, all over social media, everybody's calling out the witnesses and the people who turn people in. So are people going to be safe?
Depends on the person.
Okay.
I don't think there's one monolithic answer to this. But Stewie Rhodes. I don't like this. Yeah, I like that, Marianne. Ooey Stewie. Yeah, ooey. Yeah. He's feeling all, he just got this great big gift from the emperor. He's sitting pretty. Normally Knights of Cups are Democrats, but this feels like just an active emotional, somebody who's very much acting. He is unstable. Entertainment only YouTube. I'm seeing a Tower and a Seven of Cups. That's not good. Be safe. Please be safe. Yeah, Raymond, screwy Stewie. That works too. Yeah. Be safe. There are some people who need to go find a hotel for a while.
Yeah. All right. And the last question in this line of Claude says, in front of a journalist, Voldemort Orangina said he didn't approve of violence against police officers. And then the journalist asked why he pardoned someone who had tased an officer in the neck. Voldy seemed to be confused. Like, he didn't realize that. Like, they did? What? Did someone Did someone else write the executive order for Trump releasing all of the J6ers? Or and if so, what about his other ones?
Was this really a surprise to him?
Right.
Because he had to have somebody else write the wording for the what have you. But was it really a surprise to him? He lives in a bubble, and he forgets inconvenient facts. There's nothing here. There's a Queen of Pentacles, those are the people around him. Page of Pentacles, his dynasty, and Queen of Wands. If it is inconvenient to his world, never forget when he was on David Letterman, and David Letterman called him out for being so anti-China, and then said, this is one of your ties. It's made in China. And he just went like, oh, you got me, but and it was one of those, there's something about that was just so disgusting.
Yeah. Whew. All right.
Ms. Gibson.
Yes, Ms. Gibson at 2010. Ms. Gibson says, I rely on the government for everything to live. And with the cuts in tariffs, are companies already putting pressure on the Tangerine Tyrant's administration and government to rethink these actions? Because it's going to hurt businesses, these tariffs. So, are there any corporations that are going, dude, really? Really?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by something that was in the chat about Trump being mentally not as much as with it as he was. There might be some of that, but the number one thing is his narcissism. And boy, oh boy, do narcissists build their own realities that have so little to do.
Oh, yeah.
If you have had the misfortune to have an actual full-blown narcissist in your life at some point, the lies are epic. I mean, like, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Corporations. Well, this is us. We're just the average person with our little incomes, our little, little budgets.
Mm-hmm.
The tariffs are a bad idea. There is some pushback.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, the problem is the CEOs and the CFOs and those who are, Trump is going to make sure the policies make he and them even more wealthy. And look, like I've said before, I am a capitalist, but I am not a laissez-faire capitalist.
Yeah.
And once you've got monopolies, and once you've got one person who literally is worth billions upon hundreds of billions of dollars, no.
Yeah, maybe that needs to be rethought.
Yeah, because at that point, you should be paying so much in taxes. You could be improving so much in the world.
Right.
And there need to be specific tax policies for people who are that wealthy.
Yep.
But, yeah. It depends. Let me check the economy again. I need to keep an eye on this. Bethany says, this is part of the ugly we were told we would be seeing. Oh, yeah. Hold on, says, as soon as sales start dropping, as no one can afford anything, businesses will be pushing back. Yeah. Yep.
I think it's going to boil down to which businesses, though, because if it's not somebody who isn't putting money in his pocket, he doesn't care. Yes. And what he wants is, he's talking about all these trade deficits. So what it is that these foreign companies aren't spending enough money. These foreign countries aren't spending enough money with his people. And he wants them to do that. It has nothing to do with mom and pops and your regular mid-level businesses. He doesn't care about those.
No. And when what Sarah's saying is literal. When I say he doesn't care, this isn't like, oh, he acts in such a callous way. No. Narcissism. It does not compute.
Because it doesn't affect him.
No. So the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it will be set up for those who are in power. Be sensible organize your things. We're going to have a little bit of time, so it's a good time to... he's talking about some of these tariffs going into effect February 1st. So that isn't much time, but there's some. Here's judgment, bad judgment. Bunch of lies about the effect this will have. Not true. Bunch of garbage that is not true. Because of the government. It feels like it's not going to hit everything at once. But we have got to be super sensible. So that's what I keep getting.
All right. And for those asking about Bishop Budde, we are going to talk about her a little further down. She's in there. Let's look at, we need a bit of a, we talked about this during the sprints the other day. Paula wants to know, will the rest of the world call the Gulf by its new name or just this administration? I do know that the pudding cup, yeah, whatever, Go-Go Boots. Governor Go-Go Boots, when he wrote his state of emergency for the weather, he actually called it, in his state of emergency, the Gulf of America. And I was like, my brain went, So
did you all see the video of when Trump said Gulf of America and Hillary started laughing hysterically?
And Bill's like,
because there was a lip reader who said that apparently as Hillary started laughing and kept laughing, apparently Bill went, "Hun."
She just did not care.
No. This is all the stupid stuff he's coming out with. This is just dumb. I mean, that's just pathetic. It's laughable. Whatever. Seriously, people, the South Koreans call the Sea of Japan the Eastern Sea. Yeah. Big whoop.
Yes. And like we were saying the other day on sprints, and we normally don't talk politics over there, but this one was just, I aim to be an ally across the board. That is my goal. Thank you. But as big of an ally as I am, and I love my trans folks and I love my people and the alphabet mafia, as my kids call them. And I have several kids in the mafia. So, but I'm going to have to dead name the Gulf. It is always going to be the Gulf of Mexico, just like the building in Chicago will be the Sears Tower. It's not the Willis Tower. It's the Sears Tower. It just is. So yeah, it will not be the Gulf of America. Everybody has a building or something in their town that's changed names, and depending on when you live, you will always call it what it was before. I don't know what he's expecting, but it's just not happening. Well, and hold on, says the Gulf of Pasta. Yes.
Yes. Well, the other thing is, technically, he's changing he's to somebody who didn't know the politics. He's changing it to essentially the Gulf of the Americas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's singular, so you know the politics. But if you don't know the politics,
yeah,
calling it some version of the Gulf of the Americas is so. That's what it. North America, South America. It's a.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, he's gross. It's disgusting. His energy is disgusting. And it's going to, there are a whole bunch of businesses now who have to take all the time and effort to change all kind of stuff this goes through. So
Lewis says, I defy him to find it on a map. He did, remember when he extended with a marker the hurricane projections?
Talk about making stuff up. That's a narcissist. That is literally, I'm going to draw this the way I want it to be, and I'm going to lie to your face and tell you this is reality. You know it's not reality, but that doesn't matter because my narcissism says this is how it's going to be.
Yes. Betty Cantrell, no, he can't rename it internationally. He can rename what we call it officially. Is it still the other thing to everybody else? Yes. He doesn't have the power to make it the Gulf of America for everybody. It's like the Mall of America. Like, I'm going to find, what are those? Dippin' Dots. So there's a roller coaster and Dippin' Dots. But he can just make things inconvenient for everyone else here. He does that well. Okay. At 31 even, Robert has a question. Will the Tesla board of directors remove Musk from management at the company now that he's working in the White House? Please, gods, may I have a crumb of something?
Yeah, between Tesla and SpaceX. Visualize 70 is asking, what kind of deal has Trump got with the Sharpie pen company? The reason he uses a Sharpie is because it's the bully of markers. It's the bully of pens. It's bold, it's permanent, and it seeps through everything.
Yep.
I agree, Louis. They should remove him. But we're not in. There will come a point where there will be enough pushback that companies will start doing something. We're not there yet. We're just not. This is just this garbage of his is just starting. And as far as Muskie giving the Roman salute, which sets my hair on fire.
Yeah, a little bit.
I've got kryptonite, and I know it. My biggest kryptonite are my cats. If something happens to one of them, or they're uncomfortable, or let alone possibly sick or hurt, I lose my stuff. But there are some other things that will push my buttons, and one of them is the Roman salute. Now, we would think that there was an entire, yes, Karen, then we get dark Sebastian. Yes, you do.
Dark side of the Cancer moon over here. Yes.
Oh yeah. World War II. When I was a lass, when I was growing up,
we punched Nazis.
Yes, there was let's not talk about violence.
In comics.
In comics, absolutely. And if there was one thing that if you said we're talking about anything, there was always one thing that everyone agreed was evil.
Yes.
We all agreed.
Yes.
Totally agreed. Well, no. I mean, we still feel that way, but Mr. Narcissist is going to narcissist. You've got the MAGA who apparently find some benefit. Decency making him walk away. They already know who he is.
Yeah.
He's already said all these heinous things. He's already, it's just so gross. This is my white supremacist card. Which I didn't have, and I didn't have a card for that until these jerks.
Yeah.
And I have literally over the last couple of days. I have literally broken out a roll of Tums. Doing these readings turns my stomach sometimes.
Yeah, I do. And just to reiterate, we don't. I'm not advocating. No.
Oh, I know.
I know. I just for public record. I just want
Yeah.
to just make sure
Yeah.
that it's no. There is no. Mm-mm.
Right. I just
do.
don't want YouTube to.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay.
Do I wish that he never finds a cold side of the pillow? Yes. Do I wish? I just really wish him to have the day he deserves. I wish all of them just have the day you deserve.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Whew.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Nettie had a question. The Justice Department put out a statement that they will arrest any and all state officials who stand in the way of the deportation order. So, how will state officials protect themselves? So, any governor or mayor or any official that tries to provide sanctuary or keep ICE from sweeping in and doing what they want.
Well, here's the thing. I was reading an article about here in Chicago, how even on Inauguration Day, Monday, and then yesterday, where there's a lot of activism going on. There were fewer people on the streets, just walking around doing stuff. One, it's also crazily cold.
Oh yeah.
But the other thing in parts of Chicago is everybody's handing out flyers about these are your rights. This is what you can do. This is what you say. This is what they can and can't do. Oh, innocent potato. I love that. But quoting Churchill, good. We like that. And they're vigilant and they're keeping an eye out. And as soon as there's they're already like everybody's talking to each other, calling each other. As soon as anybody sees ICE agents or any of this starting, it's going to spread like wildfire through the knowledge about it. Is going to spread like wildfire. So people aren't just saying, "Oh well."
Right.
Now, could there be people in Chicago's city government, that could get arrested? Possibly. And obviously, this isn't just in Chicago. They've just been talking about it. Sassy Cat says a lot of these orders are just designed to scare people. Yes. Yep. Oh, yeah, there's some people who will go to prison or go to jail. Yeah. But are willing to. Yeah, they're not going to listen to any kind of decency. It's like if they try to deport somebody who's in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's not going to go over really well. And also all of this is very expensive. But this is very aggressive. And there are some people who will stand up to the corruption, to the cruelty, and they will be cooling their heels for a while. But we'll see. I mean, it's only a couple days in, and Human hasn't even gotten started, really.
Well, at 39:40. Okay, before we get into quite in this next question, let's do a compare. Let's do a compare and contrast.
Okay.
In 2016, after the election, couple weeks after. It was before everybody was sworn in. I think it might have been immediately right after. But Mike Pence went to go see Hamilton. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Mike Pence, his mother and the children went to go see Hamilton. And at the end of the show, the cast got together, and apparently at intermission they had written a letter for the gentleman who was playing George Washington at the time to read at the end. And they said, Mr. Vice President, you represent us, and regardless of if we wanted you here or not, you're there, and we need you. We are trusting you to take care of us. We need you to take care of us. Please. And they didn't, they didn't go off on him. They didn't say anything other than just, please help us. And as at the end of the thing, Pence sat there through the whole thing, and he acknowledged them. They spoke. He didn't speak out against them. So they were left. As they were standing up, he turned around and he told his daughters, he said, this is what democracy is. I'm not a Pence fan. I'm just he said that this is what democracy is. Is that people who don't agree can converse. They don't have to agree all the time to be nice to each other. Okay. Flash forward. Bishop Budde was over the National Prayer Service on Tuesday.
What denomination?
Anglican, I think.
Okay. I was going to say, because it's just weird that...
It was a female, yeah.
Bishop? Okay.
Yeah. But she gave a service, and everybody was there. The nacho narcissist, all of them were front and center. And she gave her she gave her sermon, and then in it she asked for the nacho narcissist to please remember the people and the down and disfortunate and whatnot who were depending on him, and people who were scared that there are people, LGBTQ people and immigrants, and there are a lot of people scared right now, and to please just try to just remember folks. It did not go well. Mango Mussolini has been just on the social media. People are asking for mercy. Yes. Episcopalian. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
She or Trump, sorry, I didn't want to say his name. Anyway, he's calling for her to be fired. His followers are calling for her to be deported, which is hysterical because she's born here. Like, deported to where? So this kid and Nettie are both wondering, will she be targeted, like seriously targeted for speaking out to his face in public, on not only on Al Gore's internet but all over the TV?
She's just the beginning. Everybody's going to get bullied. If you are not super rich already, Trump wants vengeance, and he's not going to tolerate anyone pushing back. And him and his ilk, they're going to try to bully. Now, I don't know that it will necessarily go beyond bullying, but yeah, it is. I'm not saying that it's, if you speak out against these blankety blanks that you're going to prison, you're guaranteed to go to prison. But it is more serious this time.
You'd think.
The answer to that would be no. No, she doesn't. Because you do not speak to the Führer that way. And I'm not exaggerating. Not exaggerating.
Claudette, that would be office@bookartmedia.com. So, all right. Okay, so
sorry, Design Media FX pointed out the bishop is strong, loved her. Well, that's the thing.
Oh, and she was a strong.
She's a strong woman.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. But also the fact that that's the thing about good Christians is they have some. Yes, we have a story. Sarah has a story to tell. But that's the thing about good Christians is being persecuted for their faith is, yeah.
We kind of do that a lot.
So they're not averse to that.
Okay, story time, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let me.
Of course, they're averse to it, that nobody should be treated that way. I'm just saying it's a part of the religious history of religious persecution. So thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. It really helps.
Okay.
Okay, but Miss Sarah has. So if those of you who have family members, I'm telling you, get a family members or people you have to deal with who are. They are going to try to quote the Bible at you and all this kind of stuff. Grab a piece of paper and a pen.
Okay, so I was busy this morning, but I had time today for this. My youngest sister, posted on the Book of Faces that, if Jesus Christ were to show himself right now to the Christian GOP, they would hate him, right?
Oh, yeah.
They would hate everything that he said and that he stood for. So somebody in the comments pointed out, well, if you're going by the Bible, it also says there's only 2 genders. And I sat there for a second and I was like, do I have time? Yes, I have time today. So I was like, okay. Sorry to interject. Well, yes, Jesus did say in Matthew 19:4-6 that there were 2 genders. He also expanded on that in at least 2 other verses. The word transgender did not exist at the time, so the Bible doesn't note them specifically in either way, good or bad. But most biblical scholars will note that the closest definition in the book is a eunuch. Matthew 19:12, so just a few verses down, notes that there are 3 kinds of eunuchs. From birth, which are intersex persons, eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by others, the act of making young men eunuchs to keep their singing voices pure before puberty, which is usually the definition of eunuch that we're most familiar with. And the third is eunuchs who make themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven, which a growing number of biblical scholars agree that it is honoring God by making the outside match the inside. What could that be?
Gosh, I don't know.
So, you've got that. And then you've got Galatians 3, verses 28-29, which states that in the eyes of God, there are no genders. None. And we're all just one in Jesus Christ. But the Jews also note the existence of at least 8 genders in the original Hebrew text. But that's another discussion altogether. Do not come for me. Do not try to use the book for hate or to come. That how your kryptonite. This grinds my gears. Do not use it as a shield for your pettiness and your vindictiveness. That is not
for your bigotry and
no. And especially if you're going to try to twist the red words that way. No. So
love one another. I'm sorry, did I stutter?
Yeah. All right. So, you're most welcome, Lisa. I'm sorry, or Lisa. Laura. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh,
I
that
didn't
was
see
not
what
boring at all. That was awesome. I have something to share.
What you got?
It's not something I wrote, but something you might want to read, especially if you're into astrology, but even if you're not. Sorry, there's a little thing. Okay. I have mentioned several times Marjorie Orr, ORR, and she has an astrology blog. She has, I think, the best astrology blog on the internet. If you've got another good one or one that's as good, please let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, did I? There it is. It was on the 21st. On the 21st, she wrote a post about Unity Mitford. Most people have probably never heard of Unity Mitford, for good reason. That's the book. There's the blog post. It's on star4cast.com. Star the number 4, star4cast.com. Just go to the news area. Unity Mitford was one of the women who was vying to become Mrs. A. Hitler.
Yay.
Yes, there were multiple women who... She was from the UK. Her father, she and her father, they were aristocrats. And her father was a complete supporter of he with the ugliest mustache ever. Okay. But yes, she was one of the 5 infamous debutante sisters of the 30s who developed an infatuation with, Anyway, her diaries of her time in Germany between 1935 and 39 have been published, relating to her intimate access to Adolf. And she was viewed as his English girlfriend. Let's just say she was mentally unstable. And I don't say that in just the obvious. But she, at the outbreak of the war, I guess it wasn't going well with Adolf, what have you. So anyway, so she, let's just say she introduced some fast metal to her head. Fast metal head.
Yeah.
Yes, Giovanna. And, but she survived, but she was gone by 1948 from illness. She never recovered, really. So, there's a lot in here about her astrology, how her and Adolf's charts interacted with each other, as she attempted to be his cheerleader while he kept her at arm's length. How why, astrologically, why his manipulation worked so well on her. And there's quite a word here. Their relationship chart had a perverse composite. It's like, yeah. Hinting at a decidedly one-sided relationship with elements of cruelty in it. Yeah. So, and here's the thing, the woman who, I guess, won the competition, good old Ava.
Yeah.
Ava Braun. she got to be Mrs. A. Hitler. And for 24 hours, was it? 36, 24, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy our honeymoon. And anyway, so yeah, there's some information here about her chart with him. And then there's the article beneath it is about Trump's day one and the executive orders. So Marjorie Orr, if you just do a Google search for Marjorie and then ORR, and go to the news section on her website, it's got this blue background all through it.
Okay.
So that help you recognize it. Definitely worth checking out in general. But this one was like a whew, okay, wow. I don't
right.
Look, we've all had some bad taste in men from time to time. Not all, obviously some people.
Not me.
Not
Never.
Right. I'm saying those who've been in relationships in their life. That's what I'm saying. Can be either gender. But we've all been attracted to people who weren't, let's say, good for us, let alone good to us. But this is a whole different thing. So
there's a joke there, and there are many of you here that have been blessed to find your one early on, and it is still I'm happy for you. You are not who I'm talking about in this with this joke. So, but the joke is, y'all need to stop being so hard. The same people that are so hard on kids about still believing in the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus still believe in first marriages. So what's...
And we know it's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. My parents have been married for 62 years.
Yes.
My oldest sister's been married for more than 35.
Yes.
My other sister's been married for like 25.
Yes.
But
it is possible.
It's a joke. Yeah. It's a joke.
But I kind of when I heard that one. So
yeah.
Do we have time for one more?
Sure.
Okay. At 58 even.
There's multiple questions there, but go ahead.
Well, do you want to look at the one underneath it?
Let's do the international one.
Okay.
12.
All right. Sabine asks at 58:25, what did the cards say about the Russian economy? Just watched a video from a Russian man on YouTube saying that Putin is stealing money from people's bank accounts without letting them know. That's no bueno.
Oh, I've seen videos of people trying to get money out of ATMs or their banks or whatever, and them just getting pushed aside.
Whoopsies. Yeah.
I've got chills up and down my spine reading on all these people, and it's not just because it's 23 degrees here in Chicago.
Yay.
Bless. He's gonna wish he was more like Trump, or had more like Trump opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say very upsetting. Government, very, very upsetting. Very. Matter of fact, yeah, new rules. Very upsetting. A new way of doing things. Not great. Yeah, I mean, to someone like Putin, generally he's got enough of a brain that he would know how much this could upset people, that would be bad. But he's still still got the energy of a serial killer. He just does. And anything would be a resource to him. And
Yay.
but he knows revolution. So there may have been some temperance there, but with the people going off to war, I wonder if he started with people who maybe didn't survive the war.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't know if that's happening, but that's what I'm picking up here. That well, they don't need the money anyway.
It's not like they have, families or dependents or.
I don't know if he's doing that. I'm saying that's what I'm picking up here. And then he doesn't have, Trump has more options for money than he does. Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. Cindy says that wouldn't be surprising. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute chaos and corruption and war and awfulness. Burden, the massive burden of this. This is the Russian people. Let's just say disappointed. But there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
There's only so much they can do. We understand. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we have more options. So.
Thank God.
All right.
All righty.
Yes, Raymond de Pascal. Yeah. Historians, : yeah. Everyone, : mainstream media. Yeah. The Anti-Defamation League. When, oh no, that wasn't really. The Anti-Defamation League, and they actively were giving that a pass.
I mean, if people are that sure that that's not what that was, then why don't they go recreate that in Austria or Germany and see if they don't get arrested? Or why don't they do it at work? Why don't they stand up in the middle of a public place and recreate that and slap that chest as hard as he did and whatever? I'm not going to recreate it. I'm just going to do
and then seek help.
Yes.
Seek help.
Yes. And see, if that's not what he did, then do it. See what happens.
Yep.
In front of your boss. That'd be fun.
Yes, DL. Ask any Germans what they think.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's going to do it for us for today. But this afternoon we'll be over on Creative Sprints.
Yes.
Here on YouTube, and then half an hour before we start here, we've been every day we've been doing a 10-minute meditation to send out as much channel as much white light, positive energy into the world. It's been just lovely. And yeah, we're going to keep on keeping on. So hang in there. You're not alone. We are in this together. And I know it doesn't seem like there are good days ahead, but they're out there and they're coming. All right. So please hang in there. All right. And we will see you later. All right. Bye.